So why is logging your flight hours important, and why is it something you want to be good at?
Because it helps you stay current for whatever rating you're going towards. That can be private, instrument, commercial, CFI, CFII. Just staying on top of that really does help. By the time you're done and you're on EOC, you're on check ride, making sure everything is in order, making sure your hours are correct. Just because on FSP you do have minimums you have to make. It really boils down to the end where, like I said, at the EOC or the check ride, they have to check all your hours, making sure you do make the minimums, making sure all your approach is correct and everything in your logbook matches FSP. If it doesn't, then there's a pretty big problem with that. Yeah.
We have to submit this thing called IACRA to the FAA, which is kind of where they review all their hours. And at the end of it, we have to come and we have to do a meeting there, and it can take anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 hours. I've seen it to where we come in and they have all their stuff filled out, everything adds up, everything looks correct, and it takes 10 to 15 minutes. We're all happy, sign you off, good to go. I've also seen it where we're sitting around for 3 hours and I've got 3 chiefs in the office where we're trying to figure out where these hours went wrong, all this kind of stuff. So making sure you log it appropriately is definitely beneficial to the student, time-wise and just accuracy-wise whenever we're submitting stuff to higher ups.
Like, are people bad at their logging their flight hours sometimes?
I would say in the beginning, yeah, when you first start, just because it's a whole new thing. Logging, because it's very convoluted. There's a lot of things. For me, I have a digital one. I have 100% digital. So there's a lot of things you have to make sure you don't log. Making sure you log each one correct, making sure everything's up to date, making sure if you're an instrument, logging your approaches, your holds correctly, make sure you're on the right airport. That happened a couple times for me. I accidentally did the wrong airport, and or I messed up on my hours, and you just always want to be on top of that.
Really just doing it right after your flight. That's what I've kind of come to do, is when I'm done with my flight, I won't get out of the plane until I'm done logging my hours, making sure they're in the right place, making sure my times are right and all that kind of good stuff. Just doing it right off the bat. A lot of people like to take it home with them, and then next thing you know, they got a week of flights and they can't remember exactly how many landings they got or exactly the time they got, and they're 0.1 off here, 0.1 off there. Just kind of makes it a hassle. So it does remind me of clocking in, clocking out for work whenever you're writing your hours down, making sure that you're getting paid for the exact time that you need and work. Same thing here, right? We're working towards a rating that requires a certain amount of hours. So making sure that time is right can be beneficial to you in finishing quicker or finishing later. Yeah, so it's so simple that it's a mindless task that is so easy to forget, but it is super important for you, especially with the student in his timeline, because it's towards your rating. So whatever timeline you're trying to keep up with your hours.